President Trump is considering intervening in the New York City mayoral race in order to stop Democratic nominee Zohran Mamdani from getting elected. That according to a report in the New York Times. The paper also says that in recent weeks, Trump spoke with Andrew Cuomo, the former governor of New York, who lost to Mamdani in the June Democratic primary and is now running in the general election as an independent. Joining me to discuss, Brett Samuels, White House reporter here at The Hill. Hey, Brett, so what does intervene mean here? Like endorse a candidate? Doesn't seem like that would be helpful in New York City.
Yeah, it's sort of unclear, Drew, what exactly President Trump's role would be in this New York City mayoral race, or how he would actually be helpful. It does seem, as New York Times reported, that he has spoken with Andrew Cuomo, of course, the former governor of New York. Trump has spoken out publicly against Zohran Mamdani, calling him a communist, arguing that, a communist should not be allowed to be mayor. Of course, Mamdani does not identify as a communist. So the White House has said that Trump, who of course grew up, spent many years of his life in New York City, reserves the right to intervene in this race. But to your point, it's not exactly clear how he might do that and how he would actually be helpful if he did want a certain candidate to win.
And Trump has accused Mamdani of possibly being in the U.S. illegally, promised to investigate that. To date, no evidence has been presented. Records show Mamdani was born in Uganda, but has lived in the U.S. since he was 7 years old. He's now a U.S. citizen. Could Trump use that accusation as a basis for somehow denying Mamdani the ability to serve in office?
Yeah, we've seen Trump float that sort of theory about Mamdani's immigration status. He's been asked even if he would deport Mamdani. Of course, that's not something that the government has the authority to do, given that he is a U.S. citizen. On top of that, he's threatened to withhold federal funds for New York City if the next mayor doesn't behave, as Trump puts it, which is sort of a thinly veiled threat, I think, at Mamdani specifically and some of the policies that he's floated, which would of course not align with the Trump administration. So, it does seem, whether it's the immigration issue or something else, it does seem like Trump is prepared to sort of use the levers of the federal government to potentially make life difficult for Zohran Mamdani if he is elected mayor, or at least kind of use that to sort of dangle over the race as voters prepare to go to the polls in November.
One way Trump could probably help Cuomo, if that's what he wants to do, is to clear the field of other candidates. Incumbent Mayor Eric Adams is also running as an independent in the race. Curtis Sliwa is the Republican. I would think there might be some pressure exerted from Trump and others to consolidate the opposition to Mamdani before Election Day.
Yeah, that would, I think, certainly be the clearest path to helping a non-Mamdani candidate win here would be if Trump or whoever else kind of exerts some pressure on, Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City, or Curtis Sliwa to get out of the race, because the thinking is that Cuomo and Adams in particular are sort of pulling from the same pool of voters here. Now, Adams, of course, is both the current mayor of New York, so he's running for re-election, but he's also someone who the Trump administration dropped charges against him, an investigation into potential corruption. So there's been some sort of dealings there that have raised questions about cooperation between Adams and the Trump administration. So it's all, I think, a little messy and hard to see kind of how exactly that would shake out, that one candidate would bow out of the race at the benefit of another candidate. So, it does seem like we're headed for this sort of four-way race here into November. And the question is whether Trump decides to weigh in and endorse a candidate, or how exactly he would intervene.
What about the notion that Mamdani is good for Trump and Republicans? He's a self-described Democratic socialist. Republicans often use the socialist label to beat up on Democrats. Maybe he'd be a useful foil for Republicans heading into the midterms.
Yeah, there is this idea, to your point, Drew, that having Zohran Mamdani sort of front and center, having him as a prominent voice for the Democratic Party would actually benefit Republicans. We've seen Republicans go to this playbook time and time again where they elevate, a more left-leaning politician, whether it's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Bernie Sanders, whoever it may be, that they try to elevate them and make them sort of the face of the Democratic Party, argue that the Democratic Party is out of touch with the mainstream, that they're lurching too far to the left. Of course, if Zohran Mamdani were to lose the mayoral race, he's no longer a prominent figure in the Democratic Party who the Trump administration could paint as this influential voice. So, we've already seen, even after he won the primary, we saw the White House really go after him and use him as a foil already. So certainly, if he were to win the race in November, that would be something the White House could use sort of as a political line of attack.
Also wonder if Trump's possible involvement could end up actually helping Mamdani. Mamdani told reporters yesterday that the mayor's race should not be a, quote, audition for the best jester for Donald Trump and his billionaire supporters, end quote. Seems like a line like that would probably play pretty well in New York City.
Yeah, I think it goes back to sort of your point at the top, Drew, which is how exactly does Donald Trump getting involved for someone like Andrew Cuomo actually help Andrew Cuomo? Because New York City is such a liberal leaning city. It's such a traditionally solidly blue city that elects Democrats or independents. If you're talking about Michael Bloomberg, I guess. So it goes to this question of it's such an anti-Trump city. The anti-Trump sentiment is so strong that if Trump were to back Cuomo, that just kind of repels a lot of voters, or maybe invites more enthusiasm for voters to go out and back Mamdani, who already has a lot of grassroots support. So, again, it's sort of this pickle that Trump seems to be in, where if he doesn't want Mamdani to win, it's not really clear how he could actually get involved in a way that would boost another candidate short of clearing the field, which again, it's unclear if he actually has the influence to do that in New York.
Might be a case where less is more. We will leave it at that. Thanks, Brett Samuels. Appreciate your insight.
Thanks, Drew.